Hello everybody, my name is David Shear and I am the second year graduate assistant in the Transitional Advising Center. What I'm going to be talking to you about today is how to commit to your major. What my office here at USF does, I work in the Transitional Advising Center, is we help students figure out what they want to do with their lives. Say for example, you come to college and you want to be an engineering major. Take a couple of the entry courses and you realize engineering's just not for me. What you'll do is you'll come to our office and you'll talk to either myself, Deborah, or one of the other advisors, and we will help you figure out what major is best suited for you. Like I said, I work in the Transitional Advising Center. We help advise first-year undecided students. We also help advise pre-hospitality management students. We also are the ones who will administer the AA certification if you decide that you want to just get your AA and go off and work. And like I said earlier, we also deal with major reselection students. So I want you to think about your major as a kind of relationship. So for example, right now I'm not dating anybody, but I could be dating someone, I could be courting someone, and then once you get done with courting them, you move into the engagement phase, and then after you get done with your engagement, top it all off and you get married. So the way that we correlate that together is, in terms of the dating phase where it's really casual and you're just trying to get to know somebody, is, that's your freshman year. That's when you're dating your major. You're figuring out by taking these FKL, Foundations of Knowledge and Learning courses, you're figuring out what you want to do. Moving into your sophomore year, that's when you court your major. You take more area-specific courses for your major. Your junior year is when you become engaged to your major. This is when you're really committed and you start taking nothing but major courses. And then your senior year, that's when you're married to your major because you're so deep into it by this point that that's what you have to do. You have to finish this major. You have to be with this person. Or at least so we hope. So there's an interesting quote out there that we like to use here at the Transitional Advising Center. There's a difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in doing something, you do it only when circumstance permits. But when you're committed to something, you accept no excuses, only results. We really want to try to instill this into you as a student because you need to commit to your major. Don't just willy-wally around trying to figure, I want to be psychology, but I want to be engineering, but I want to be this. Commit to something. You can always go back, get another degree later, but commit to something so that when you graduate, you can go off and you can make results, you can get a job. An interest is defined as the state of wanting to know or learn about something or someone. So for example, when I went into my undergraduate career, I was interested in becoming a doctor. So I went and I shadowed some doctors, I took Anatomy of Physiology 1 and 2, and quite honestly, I realized, obviously, that was not what I wanted to do. Commitment is the act of carrying out, pledging, binding, or obligating oneself to something or someone. So, again, I'll use myself as an example. I committed to a double major in political science and philosophy because I knew that's what I wanted to do. I took those intro courses and I realized that's what was best suited for me. Obviously, I didn't go to law school, do anything like that, but that degree is helping me a lot in my career choice, student affairs professional, because, the philosophical teachings that I learned about, I'm able to really apply to my courses. You're always able to take transferable knowledge and apply it when you get a degree. So here's some characteristics of being major interested. You're undecided or deciding. You're taking introductory classes in the major. You're talking to friends, current students, and professionals. You're researching the field of study and job opportunities. You're engaging in part-time, volunteer, or observation opportunities. You might join a student organization, and also you might be just discussing the academic curriculum. Now see, if you're major committed, some characteristics are you've already completed your major declaration, you're conducting or presenting scholarly research, you're establishing academic/professional mentor relationships. Those are very, very important as you go along in your academic career as well. You might be researching specific post-bachelor school requirements or job postings. You could engage in an internship, a practicum, or a co-op experience. Or you could join a professional organization. And you have to deal also, there's a term we use, it's called the necessary curriculum evils. So For example, if you want to go into medicine, you got to take A&P 1 and 2. You got to take all the chemistries, the biologies. But when you're committed to that major, it's not as troublesome or, time consuming or as bad as you might have been if you weren't a pre-med major. So yeah, again, in the Transitional Advising Center, we have major reselection advisors. We serve as academic major matchmakers for students. We provide service for freshmen, sophomores, juniors, some juniors, and even some seniors. There's 4 different types of major students that we see. We see the major undecided / indecisive students. We see the major explorers. We see the major redirected, and we see the major burnout students. There are some majors that when you want to declare for them, they are limited access majors. They're limited access in that they have a minimum GPA that you have to be able to enroll in that major. These are business, which has a 2.5 minimum, education has a 2.5 minimum, engineering has a 2.0 minimum, nursing has a 3.2 minimum, athletic training has a 2.8, social work has a 2.75, mass communications has a 2.75, architecture has a 3.0, and also a bachelor's in math and a bachelor's of fine arts in dance. Those are also limited access majors. So when you're interested in a major and you're thinking that you might want to commit to this major, you really should conduct some research of the program requirements to gain a realistic expectation of the application process. Some of them are very, very long and toilsome, and you might get discouraged. So you should figure that out beforehand so that you don't go into it saying, oh, you know what, by the end of this semester, I'm going to declare as an engineering major, only to find out that you have a low GPA and you won't be able to get it, and you don't have the portfolio or anything like that. Like I said, you want to satisfy and maintain the proper and competitive GPA. You really should seek some advising and registration for proper prerequisite coursework. We can assist you with that, and also it would be advantageous to you to go and talk to an advisor in that major and get their advice when it comes to it. You really should be knowledgeable of the application procedures and deadlines, and you should be realistic of the competitive nature of the program. For example, nursing has a 3.2 GPA. It's in high demand. If you are not at the tip top in terms of GPA, if you have like a 3.3, 3.4, you better be making sure that you're doing some outside extracurricular activities to make yourself stand out, because it's very, very competitive to get into the nursing program, for example. Like I said, try to gain some type of relevant experience, either through volunteer or research. Just immerse yourself in that field so you can figure out if you really want to do it, and you can also get that experience for the resume so that you stand out and you make those prospective teachers say, wow, I want this person in my program. And lastly, like I've been saying, you really want to create a competitive application portfolio, includes a resume, cover letter, all the experience you've had, so that when you go into that entrance interview, you can knock their socks off and do a fantastic job. So here's some things that you should be a little cognizant of as you go through, your next couple years. These are some things that might affect you, hopefully will not affect you. But for example, the academic probation policy. You get placed on academic probation if your cumulative GPA drops below a 2.0. If it drops below a 2.0, oftentimes you will get booted out of a major. You'll come see me or one of my fellow advisors, and we'll help you out. Also, the academic renewal and ARC petitions, these are very advantageous to students who have either been kicked out of the university, had a terrible event happen in their life, and so they need to drop courses from a previous semester, or just a simple a late drop of a course. Also, there is a DF policy in place for several majors. For example, all the biomedical science degrees, if you get more than 3 drops or fails, D's or F's, then you will be kicked out of the program and you will have to come see me, and we'll have to try to figure some other major out for you that will suit you. And lastly, there's also the withdrawal policy. You're allowed to withdraw from 3 classes before you hit the 60 credit hour threshold, and then you're allowed to withdraw from 2 more classes after the 60 credit hours. You need to be very cognizant of that, because if you overdo it and you get, say, 3 withdrawals and then you're going to drop a 4th one, It's going to be an automatic F. You do not want that, so you need to keep track of your withdrawals. Some of the things that are available to you to help you with your commitment that are very good are, for example, the academic advising, myself, all the advisors from all the different majors, tutoring and learning services. These people are very underutilized on campus. This is the tutoring center, the tutoring lab, the writing center, the office over in the library. You should take advantage of them because you are paying fees every semester for them. Their job is to help you. Go over there and use them. If you're having trouble in calculus, go find a calculus advisor. It's absolutely in your best interest to do that. There's also the Career Center. The Career Center is very, very valuable because it will help you figure out what type of degree is best suited for the job that you ultimately want to pursue. Next, the Counseling Center. If you're having some problems, you need to go talk to somebody, absolutely utilize them. All of these centers are here to help you. You're paying fees for these centers to be around and to operate. Go and use them. It is in your best interest to do this. Lastly, disability services. If you're afflicted with a disability, by all means, you need to go and make it well known to the Office of Disability Services. They will help you out if you need extra time taking tests, if you need anything. They will just be there to help you out. They will be your advocate. Take advantage of that. You know, I really appreciate everybody coming and attending my session today, and I just want to know, does anybody have any questions?